Good morning, everybody. Happy, Tuesday, April 20, what is it today? 28th. Yes, April 28th. Good morning. Okay, so this morning's thoughts, I've had some really good stuff in my meditation. I'm not sure if any of you follow Bruce Lipton, but I'm a big fan of Bruce Lipton and the biology of belief and the fact how our biology interacts with our conscious and subconscious mind to create the lives that we're living. I really do believe that we are divine creators meant to be living a life that we create. We are capable of creating it ourselves. Problem is that most of us create from a very subconscious point of view. So what does that actually mean? So consciously as creators, we can imagine what the life we want. We can think about it. We can say affirmations. We can say, visualize, I want to do this. I want to do that. We want to create this. We're going to put this together and create that and everything. And we can learn, we can read, we can take in information and process it. It's all in the conscious mind, what our thoughts and thinking and everything is. But what is really running the show is our subconscious mind. And what is the subconscious mind? The subconscious mind is actually the habits, the programs, okay? It's actually the programs that we run. And these programs shows up in the patterns of our life. They are the habits, the daily things that we do, all right? So where do these programs come from? These programs come from our childhood, actually, is majority of where they come from is from the from pregnancy, from when we're actually pregnant, when our mothers are pregnant with us, so in vitro, as our brain develops. Through until about the age of 7, we operate in our subconscious just keeps receiving the programs that we witness around us, that we pick up from it. Now, and these programs this is what we actually operate on from the rest of our lives, right? And so that subconscious, so what is that subconscious? It's the observation. So where are those programs coming from? They are coming from the experiences that we have. What do we observe? And we observe from the point of view of being all about ourselves. So this isn't about whether or not you had a good childhood or a bad childhood. That doesn't actually matter. There's a lot of these beliefs that actually come from our society. We are a result of the society that we live in. This is why we are very much in harmony with where we are born and raised. Okay. We pick up the societal vibrations of that area. It comes from the family interactions that we have. So when our families get together in whatever formats those are, the interaction that people are having tells us what the programs are. We observe and we put these programs in place. And they tell us how we behave. Because if we actually had to sit down and learn from a book or something and consciously program our children to understand how to live in this world, it is far too cumbersome. Right? We couldn't do it. We just could not do it. You think of all the little interactions that you do in your life that are automatic, like learning to walk. We learned how to walk before we were 2 usually. And most of us will walk our entire life, but we won't think about it. We'll just get up and do it. It becomes a habit of something we just know how to do, right? That's what these programs are. They're things that we just know how to do. So we've created them from the experiences we've had growing up, what are our observations. Now, everything that we take in these programs is from the perspective of us being at the center of it. And this is where it doesn't matter whether you came from a great background or a real crappy background. It doesn't actually matter. All right. We often think, never mind. It doesn't actually matter because the perspective is from the individual. It's from ourselves. It's a very self-defining perspective. Okay, so here's an example. My dad comes home from work, and when he comes home from work, he plays with us, cares for, hugs us, loves us, whatever, right? Well, they come home from work one day and doesn't do that. has all of a sudden this very deep, stressful conversation with mom. Could be a fight with mom. It could just be dad came home with some news and that was they had to work through, but it was a serious discussion. As a child, we don't understand the nuances of what this is, and we can't process them and go, oh, it's dad had a bad day at work. He's now just talking about mom. Something happened at the bank. Something happened with the mortgage, whatever. They have stress. Now they're talking about it. That's the stress energy. No. We don't have that ability. What we have is our bodies are energetic beings, right? We pick up that this is different. There is stress. Okay? The dad that we know didn't come home and react the way he normally does. He had a different reaction. Or this is a reaction of dad came home and he had an interaction with mom and it was a stress. And our minds immediately go, how did I cause this? How did I cause this to happen, this change in pattern? And we either like the change or we don't like the change. Or and quite often we pick up the heated conversation. If it's an abnormal thing to have this heated conversation, we bring into a program of going, we recognize the emotional, we understand the emotion, we feel the emotion of it, but we don't understand the processing of what's going on because we don't have the conscious ability. It's a subconscious thing taken from our very personal viewpoint going, what did I do to cause this? Right? So our perspectives are always a very, very single perspective, and it's the programs in place. So what happens every day? What is the underlining statements that we hear? What is the beliefs that are held by our parents, by our extended family, by the people that are caregivers, the people that interact with us on a regular basis? Children pick those things up, not on our conscious, they pick up on our subconscious. They see the habits, the programs, the day-to-day, all those things that we don't see about ourselves. Children see it. And that's what they are observing, and that's what they are soaking into their subconscious little brains that is causing them to have a program they are going to run for the rest of their life unless they stop it and make a change to it. So how do we stop these programs and make a change to it? So when something's not working in our life, we look at what the pattern is. We need to stop it and create a new pattern. And we can consciously analyze these things. We can consciously look at them. We can do all sorts of great meditations to go back and, oh, that's why I feel this way. Oh, that's what happened that caused this injury. Oh, that's what, we can put a story to them. We can put an understanding to them from the conscious mind, but that doesn't actually stop or change the subconscious program that we're running on. The only way to change the subconscious program is to create a new habit. How do we create habits? We create habits by repeating a pattern, right? We have to create a new pattern of behavior. That makes sense? Okay. So how do we create the dreams that we really want? What is the fastest way? This is something I teach a lot about with people in my workshops, and that is the idea that with our conscious mind, we go into a visualization of what it is that we want, right? And we see the details. And when a lot of people talk about these meditations, right? There's tons of them out there. Do the meditation. See the future. What is it that you want to create? Look at the details, right? But what you really need to do is to look, yes, create that vision. What do you really want? Dive into that vision and observe the behavior. What are the patterns that play out, that are creating that vision? And when you figure out what the patterns are, and you take those patterns and you start applying them to your behavior today, now you're changing. Now you're starting to create something new. You're starting to create that dream that you wanted. But you have to figure out what the pattern actually is. There's a great thing Tony Robbins does. I'm a big fan of Tony Robbins, always have been. So Tony Robbins does something every single day. And I thought it was so cool. Every single day he has on his deck a big pool of ice water. And every single day he jumps into that ice water. That's his morning ritual. He jumps into this ice water. And what is amazing to me is the reason why he does it. And he says the reason why he does it is because every single day he tells himself that he is in charge, not the programs. So every single day he is choosing the program that he is running. He is creating his habits and choosing his program. He is choosing the life that he wants to create. That is how he went from being in such a difficult life. I don't know if you know the history of him, but he had a very, very difficult childhood, and he had a very difficult start off in life and became the success that he is today, which is extreme. Okay. And if you talk to pretty much most very, very successful people that came from the poor and from a very bad background and became very successful, they did that same concept in one way or another. They chose a pattern of behavior and they were dedicated to that pattern of behavior till it created a subconscious program that they operated out that took them on the journey to where they are. Anyhow, those are my thoughts for today. All right. If you like them, great. Like this video, subscribe to my channel, check out my website, see the work that I do, follow me on Facebook. Love you all. Today's message is to take a look at what your pattern of behavior is, and is it in alignment? Is it in alignment? Are the patterns of behavior that you're doing every day creating the life you want to be living? And if they're not, then choose a new pattern. Good morning. Like the video, subscribe to my channel, check out my work on my website, and follow me on Facebook. Love you all. Mwah. Have a great day. Bye.